There it is. There it is.
There it is. There it is.
Doop de doop de doop.
Oh, kind of fun
Yeah.
too.
Alrighty.
So,
Hello and welcome to episode 609 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, July 10th, 2018. I'm your host, Chris Johnson. With me, as always, from Canada, Mr. Greg Seward.
Hi.
I waited until you took a swig.
Yeah, I saw that. Thanks. You're like a waiter in a restaurant.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to our restaurant.
Oh, hello.
Are you enjoying your water?
Are you ready to order?
Yeah, I did order.
We have a wide variety of appetizers that will get you prepared for your meal. Perhaps some
Okay.
onion wings.
Sounding vaguely racist now.
What?
Said onion rings. What?
Some onion rings.
Onion rings. And joining me from the great state of Washington is Mr. Phil Theobald. Hello.
Let's get it started in. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started in. Let's get it started.
Seemed like people really liked your Freshbox song
What's that?
last week. Your Freshbox song.
My which one? What?
What's a fresh box song?
Phil, you don't remember suggesting
don't-
that I should buy this Kim Possible game that I have right
I
here?
Oh my
honestly
God!
do not.
Why did you go?
And-
What is wrong with you?
I honestly, how many times have we had this conversation? I had this conversation with you on the podcast. I've had
I
this
know.
conversation with you via Twitter.
Yeah.
I have no recollection of suggesting that you buy
Recommending that I buy Kim
Kim-
Possible.
Disney's Kim Possible. What's
been
the
a-
Switch
Now you don't remember.
for PS2? I may have. I mean, this was what, 12 years ago?
At least. And guess who it's developed by?
Well, we know. We again
Now
we've
we
had
know.
this. We've had this conversation.
Who is it?
It's
A2M.
it's A2M.
Right.
That's an
Artificial
A2M
Artificial
game.
Minded.
Because if there's one thing Kim Possible loves,
Okay. All right. No.
it's side-scrolling platformers.
Yeah,
2.5
with a unique art style.
Well, no,
Kim-
it's not an indie game.
Well, at the time, it was a unique art style. That's what I'm saying.
Was it?
At the time, Kim Possible had a unique art style.
Well,
Then
I do
Penny
not-
Arcade.
stole it. That's.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just put that out there. Penny
Let's throw
Arcade
that out there.
They stole Kim Possible's art style.
Yeah.
I
and
think
then,
I think they've said as much. I think they
did they really?
I thought that he said that. Isn't his
Now,
inspiration more
he-
Ren and Stimpy?
What?
No, no,
That can't be.
no. Because
can't
as far as I know, the Penny Arcade guys are not predators, sexual predators.
What are we
Yeah.
talking about anymore?
John,
Greg's
We're
not
talk-
up on that news.
you might.
Oh wait.
might,
Okay, now I get it.
want to look into what John Crick-Falusi's been doing lately.
I can't keep up.
Hint:
No.
Sorry, it's just
Hints.
so much.
It's grooming young women.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah. No, I believe there was an old interview with whichever one of the Penny Arcade dudes does the art,
Mhm.
where he probably used the word influenced by. He
Uh-huh,
probably
uh-huh.
didn't say.
That's what we always use. This game is heavily influenced by.
It's an homage.
Yeah.
Nudge, nudge. But yeah, whoever I don't remember the person's name who did the Kim
I forget
Possible
their name.
character designs, but
yeah,
but yeah, I believe Penny Arcade is, or at least at one time, was influenced by the individual who did the Kim Possible character designs. But I do not recommend. Well, and I don't. It's not that I recommend. I don't remember recommending that game to you.
Yeah.
May very well have. I do not recall ever playing that game myself.
It may have been that you read that it was really good or something. I don't know.
Or you know what? Or I could very well have played that game. I could have finished that game for all I know. It was
Probably
possibly.
reviewed it.
I may have actually
It
reviewed
is
it.
impossible that you reviewed it.
It's
Could be.
ah,
Could be.
yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
unopened. It was unclear.
Well, clearly, Clearly, you didn't.
I
You
took
kind of
your advice.
even if I did tell you to play that game, you only kind of half took the advice.
Okay.
Bought it, but it's I still see that shrink wrap on there.
Yeah.
So,
Not worth as much once you take the shrink wrap off.
hey,
right.
here's an idea.
Now, PlayStation 2 collecting is hot right now. I can probably get a
Patreon-
mint for that.
Patreon supported Kim Possible. What's the Switch game club?
Let's do it.
We'll get to that right after Bully.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how was your 4th of July? You doing
Why?
anything fun?
I took part in the Civil War. I took part in Civil War 2. That was
Okay. That was
so hyped up.
Uh-huh.
That's what everyone was excited about here in the USA. Was
You know what we
this,
call 4th of July here?
Wednesday,
Thank you.
which has got to be weird.
Just another work day.
Which has got to be weird on years when it does not fall on a Wednesday.
That is weird.
It is weird.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's like,
Now, you know what? Working at a company that, I mean, largely our client base is American. So this week was just a write-off.
oh yeah,
There you go.
Work like, I don't know.
You mean it's like a catch-up week, really? Catch
No,
up.
we weren't eating any ketchup.
Oh, okay.
No.
No ketchup
can't-
chips.
Plus, we can't get Heinz now, so it has to be French's.
you can't get what?
You can't get Heinz? Is that a thing?
Oh, Heinz.
No, it's not a thing.
I thought you were
Okay.
saying you.
Although I
couldn't
believe
buy
it's
now.
affected by the tariffs.
That's what I was going to ask. Is this because of ketchup tariffs?
I believe so. I believe it's one of the things that's being affected by tariffs.
Is it really?
Oh my gosh.
You laugh, but man, the grocery bills are going to go up. It's going to happen to you
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know.
Yep.
It's not good.
Don't. You don't have to explain that to me.
Speaking as a single father of 3 children,
Ugh.
I try to budget
Mhm.
my money pretty
prob-
tightly.
and you probably go through a lot of
grocery
ketchup.
bills. Not good.
You probably
We-
go through a lot of
We go
ketchup.
through a lot of ketchup.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Finn's not a big consumer of ketchup.
Neither is Charlotte.
My boy isn't anymore.
Yeah.
My youngest daughter though, it's weird. She'll dip anything in ketchup, and it really, like cheese.
Oh yeah.
It's just gross.
Hmm.
I don't
I
even
was
know.
I was the same way when I was a kid. I was a heavy
Oh,
ketchup eater
God,
as a kid.
so gross.
Now
Cheese and ketchup would probably be okay though, because
Well,
you
hold
have
on a
to
second.
serve it
that
with
being,
cheese
I
and
say that
ketchup.
being a person that will put ketchup on Kraft Dinner or macaroni and cheese, whatever it is you guys call it. But
Yeah.
I can't. I see her dipping cubes of cheddar into
Yeah.
ketchup and eating it, and I just
That
ugh.
seems fine to me. That seems like a perfectly
Dude.
fine
Greg,
snack.
Greg,
What?
do you enjoy cheeseburgers?
No, I don't put cheese on burgers.
Really?
No, I don't like it.
Okay.
Huh.
And to be fair, neither do I.
Hmm.
But ketchup on a cheeseburger is not
No,
a,
I get it.
not
I'm
an unusual thing.
I'm not saying it's rational. It's just something weird about it. Seeing her do that just is
Yeah.
like, nope.
Jeez, you're one of those. You're one of those ketchup on Kraft Dinner people, huh?
Yep.
Note that I said Kraft
Oh.
Dinner just
See, but
just for you.
to be fair, there's no cheese in that, so
Well, I guess you're right.
You know.
There's solidified orange powder.
Rooted orange goodness.
Yeah.
But I have some good news for you because Warframe is coming to the Nintendo Switch.
another good
Say.
Canadian game.
There you go.
There you go. From the fine people at Panic Button who did the ports for Doom, Rocket League, and Wolfenstein. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
So no launch date for the Switch version of the game.
Warframe's a
Warframe
good game.
is a free-to-play game,
Hmm.
and on
Yeah.
a lot of platforms, including PS4. It was there at launch.
Hmm.
I played it at launch.
Yes,
and
that's right. I
never
remember it being a
again.
launch game. Yep. No, I mean I don't play it either, but it's got a very dedicated, hardcore community around it.
Yes, yes.
It's pretty impressive because it's homegrown. It's what's the name of the studio? Is it Epic Mega Games? Is that the name of the studio?
No.
No.
Warframe? No.
Who did it?
I am not sure.
I'm gonna look it up.
Looking it up.
Digital no, not Digital Extreme. Yeah, Digital Extremes.
There you go. Digital Extremes.
Why did I think they were called Epic Mega Games?
That's who makes Fortnite.
No, that's Epic Games.
Oh,
Oh boy.
Not
There was
Epic
an Epic Mega
Games?
Games.
There was a difference
Yes.
between Epic Games and Epic Mega Games. Really?
There you go. Because the founder of Digital Extremes, his first game, Epic Pinball, was published by a shareware publisher called Epic Mega Games,
Weird.
which I think then became Epic Games. So you were half right. Anyway,
Okay. Yay.
This is very
I'm
embarrassing.
right.
We're
I'm
my
right.
point is,
professionals.
yeah, it's a good game.
All right then. And that's the news. That's all we got.
Actually, you guys remember Meredith Braun,
Yeah.
Our Lady Extraordinaire?
First of all, it's Baxter Burney. And yes, I do
she
remember her.
She was on
She
Family
is
Ties.
married
Yeah.
to the person who runs Digital Extremes.
Well, okay.
She's like, I forget what her title is. She's a big wig there as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
All right.
All right. I guess we're tumbling right into what we've been playing. What do you
Wow,
think
that
of
was the news. That was
That
that
was
was
it.
everything.
That was it.
Short episode because I didn't play shit.
Unless you have something else you want to bring up.
No, I don't look. What are you crazy? That's your job.
Exactly. So Phil,
We're the talent. We just show up at 9:00 or whatever time it is where Phil is.
It is 5 p.m.
Yeah.
5 p.m.
It's really early. I wouldn't record at that time.
Me
Well,
neither.
I wouldn't either, but I'm shouted down by you East Coasters.
That's right.
That's right.
the
The
Beast
one
Coast.
true time zone.
The
yeah.
one.
Well,
true
let's not
Yeah,
go nuts
no,
here.
Not
It's
where. That's not the one true
Guys,
time. I'm in a different time zone than you, CJ.
Okay,
Yeah.
the one true coast. There you go.
Also, you guys aren't Greenwich Mean Time, so let's
How do you know?
because I'm aware that Halifax is not
Listen,
in Europe.
you West Coast elitist.
Halifax is not in
You
Europe.
West Coast elitist.
Look, I may be an American and therefore do not know geometry, but I know that Canada is
I like
not,
that. It's good.
is not in Europe. Okay,
I don't know. You treat us like we are.
look, I know you're all tucked
Womp
away
womp.
down there,
Womp,
and I know
womp.
that it's not Europe because you have to cross one of the oceans to get to Europe.
Which one?
Which Europe?
What's
There's
Pacific
just
Ocean?
there's one Europe.
What does your geometry book tell you? Which,
Europe, by the way, is the biggest country in Asia. Did you know that? Greg enjoyed that one.
Oh man.
Are we going to get to what we've been playing? Because
Who cares?
you're
why
up.
not?
What am
You're
what?
up.
Europe?
What?
Europe is what I'm talking about, dude. And I'm saying Canada ain't part of it.
We've established that.
What? You know what I've been playing?
What's that?
I picked up. Did I
War
talk
games?
about this?
Warframe.
Oh man, War. Did you ever see that War Games?
I never have.
You've never
What?
seen War Games?
Nope.
Holy crap, dude!
Played
That's
all
a
the games
great-
though.
Movie.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
I reviewed the games.
It's aged okay.
Do you know Matthew
It's aged
Broderick
well.
killed people and got away with it?
Really?
He I believe. Hey, circling it back around. I believe it was in Europe. I believe he killed a few people in
Oh,
Europe.
wasn't he in a car accident?
Yeah, well, I believe if I remember correctly, he was at fault in the car accident. It's not like he was, he was at fault as far as I know, and he killed some people and got away with it. So Matthew Broderick, famous murderer slash
Wow,
movie star.
I feel like we shouldn't say that.
Well, I'm just
I feel like that's
no.
not it. No, murder is different. Nah.
okay. Involuntary manslaughter.
There you go.
Okay. There we go. I don't know there's probably some sort of a designation since it was with a vehicle. But
Vehicular manslaughter.
yeah, there you go. But yeah, Matthew Broderick is
I hope you're right about this because that's an awfully huge allegation. Otherwise,
well, and this is really awkward too because I know he's a listener. So, hey,
no.
hey, first of all, you should really see War Games. You know who's in War Games?
Matthew Broderick.
Dabney Coleman.
You know who else is in War Games? This guy right there. Eddie Deason. Eddie Deason. Look at
Who?
that.
Yeah.
Eddie Deason.
Eddie Deason.
Eddie Deason. Look at that. Look at that. I got his autograph right there.
I'm sure that you've heard his voice. You would recognize it.
Did you ever watch Dexter's Laboratory?
Nope.
What? the hell is wrong with you?
We're
Because
finding
I was
out
30 when
about
that came
Greg.
out. What do you want from me?
Eddie Deason. Eddie Deason was the guy who played like every stereotypical nerd in like every 80s movie.
Yeah.
His voice is kind of like this. Is that like
Okay.
a really
Recognize
high pitched
it, right?
screech? Oh yeah,
Gotcha.
for sure. You should see War Games. It's really quite good.
War Games is great. Yeah.
What were we talking about?
We're
Danny
talking
Coleman?
about Phil. It's your turn to tell us about what you've been playing.
Yeah, but how the hell did we get on War Games? That's weird.
I don't know. I don't know. We were talking about Europe.
Yeah, that doesn't. I can't connect those dots.
I've been reading
Nope.
Wikipedia. What are we doing?
What's on Wikipedia these days?
Matthew Broderick.
Are you really looking at Matthew
I was,
Broderick on
yeah.
Wikipedia?
It was in 1987 in
What
Ireland.
did it say? Oh, it was. Hey,
Yes.
Ireland is in Europe.
Oh,
Is it?
Yeah. It's a European country. Yes. Hey, I got it right.
He hasn't used that for the past 4 trivia games we've done.
I know. True.
I've been playing. I don't remember if I talked about this last week or not, but I picked up Ease 8.
You did talk about that last.
Well, I've been playing some more Ease 8,
yeah.
which is
it everything you've ever wanted in a JRPG?
well, I mean, it's an action RPG.
Oh, okay.
It's Ease. The Ease games are action RPGs.
Sure.
And I love the Ease games, so I'm still having some fun with that. I've been still playing some Minecraft with the boy. So
Nice.
he's
Cool.
really
I saw
into
you were
that.
playing Rogue Legacy.
I have. I was busted out Rogue Legacy on the Steam.
Yeah.
Uh,
You streamed it.
I did stream a little Rogue Legacy the other day. I was goofing around and I was like, I wonder if I can stream Steam games just to see.
Yeah.
And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set up a rival charity stream
Uh-huh.
to Greg. I'm going to start streaming at the same time Greg does, and I'm gonna come up with some sort of like rival charity to donate to. So it'll be like, what cause do you care about more? Sick kids, which is what Greg supports, or Phil buying Legos, which will
Speaking
be
of which, Voltron Lego in a few weeks.
Oh,
yes, indeed.
What?
Yes, indeed.
I
That's
am,
great.
I am treating
great.
myself.
Yes,
Tempted.
you got-
Very tempted.
Oh, man, I'm
Don't
so
be tempted.
excited.
Don't be
Don't be
tempted.
tempted.
Give
Just do
in.
it.
Give in. Give into that temptation.
I have not spent a dime on Lego for myself in like 3 years. So
Now's your chance.
Daddy's buying some Lego.
Now is your chance. 5 lions
Hmm.
forming one.
And they even come apart into
Yeah.
5 lions.
Yeah. No,
Oh, I'm so excited.
it looks great. I'm very excited about that. That Voltron Lego set.
Yeah.
We're never going to get to what you've been playing, are we?
Yeah.
Well,
So
we're-
what else are you? What else are you playing?
You know what?
He's
my-
8 in Minecraft.
My kid.
Mhm.
We were. We've been playing Minecraft. I've been playing it. He's been kind of watching, sort of guiding me, telling me what to do, where to go, and he's finally started kind of taking control of the game himself. And I believe this is his first time playing a game in which he is maneuvering around in 3D space, which
Huh.
That's big.
is a skill set you got to learn, right?
For sure.
So he's actually
Oh, you
getting.
have to learn it, but it is.
Oh,
a
you
skill set
do.
to
I mean,
learn,
in today's workaday world,
Mm,
I
mhm,
mean, what
mhm.
with all the analogs and
Well, with all
and-
the 3D space everywhere, and
I mean, how
with
is he
all-
going to be a Fortnite champion without knowing that?
That's just it.
Yep.
I mean, you know how many V syncs are out there, just wandering the streets. I don't know, but he's playing Minecraft by himself now, so I'm
That's
I'm
cool.
pretty pleased. You know what I picked up this week?
What's that?
What's a video game?
Okay.
Video game. It is a Nintendo Switch video game that was originally
I've heard of it.
announced as a launch title for the system.
Night Trap.
Long time. No. Although, yeah, the limited run Night Trap went on sale this week.
Mm.
I did not buy
You
it.
get the special edition. They actually
didn't either.
have one of their new Sega CD style jewel cases
Yeah,
in the package. Looks pretty
Ah.
slick.
That yeah, their special edition of it is ridiculous because it comes with 3 different cases.
Yeah.
It comes with a regular Switch case, the regular plastic Switch case with a reversible cover. It comes with like Greg mentioned, it comes with a Sega CD style case that has a little like foam insert inside it that can hold a Switch cartridge.
Interesting.
House your game in that. And it comes with a steel book, a Nintendo Switch case sized steel book.
Doesn't it come with a VHS tape of the?
You can yeah.
It comes with a VHS tape that has all the game footage on it. So you could just
I would have nothing to play that with.
Pop that into your VCR and just watch it.
Like, yeah, I was the same.
I don't
Like
have a
my
VCR.
dad at one point handed me a box of VHS tapes and said, like, would you be able to capture these and like, you know, so we can digitize this? Like, yeah, sure. You got a VCR? Like, why I haven't owned a VCR in 10 years. Like,
Right.
Yeah. So, but no, I this was a Switch game that was announced at launch. How long? When did the Switch come out? It's not quite a year,
March,
yet, right?
2017. Yeah,
So
or
it has
over
been
a year.
Okay, just over a year. Okay, so yeah, this game has been coming soon for, you know,
are you ever going to tell us what it is or
15
what?
months?
He's taking a very long walk towards it.
Taking a long walk towards a very not terribly interesting goal. It's a what's a Pocket Rumble.
You're right. That wasn't interesting.
Pocket Rumble, the fighting game that is styled after SNK's fighting games for the Neo Geo Pocket Color.
Oh, right. I remember seeing pictures of this.
Limited
Yes.
color palette and sort of super deformed characters.
Yeah, nice chunky chibi sprites. Yeah, the limited color palette. It's got filters on it, so you can give it like kind of scan lines and stuff like that.
Cool.
Okay.
But yeah, I was very excited about this game when I first saw it 15 months ago, and it finally came out, and I was okay. Yeah, I'll pick it up.
Sure.
I was a little less excited about it. Now that we have like every Street Fighter game ever is available on Switch.
Yeah.
And a lot of SNK,
Yeah,
a lot of arcade ports,
a lot of like actual,
Yeah.
actual SNK games. But I was, it's $10. I'll pick it up, and yeah, there you go.
Nothing nice to say about it, so you're not going to say anything at all.
I-
Is that what it is?
I mean, I kind of wish they had a return policy.
Wow.
Okay. We Steam. Okay, well here's my experience. with this
Digital
game.
burn. You've experienced a digital
I know,
burn.
right. Here's my experience with this game. Okay. Now I am not a fighting game aficionado
Me
by
neither.
any stretch of the imagination. I
Yeah.
am a very, very casual fighting game fan. I am not, however,
Not a master of the domestic violence is what you're saying.
no.
Okay.
What am I, Sushi X?
Well,
Call
that's
back. Yeah. No. But I'm not terrible at fighting games. You know, I can in a friendly match.
We
of
saw
Street
that at
Fighter.
Fest last year.
Yeah, I can hold my own.
Yeah. Mhm.
When playing against a computer in a fighting game, I can hold my own. You know, I'm not terrible at fighting
for at
games.
least 2 or 3 rounds.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I load up the game for the first time, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to dive right into the arcade mode. So I go to the arcade mode, I pick my character, and the match starts, and just immediately the CPU comes over and just starts
Pummeling you.
unloading combos on me.
Yeah.
I think I get 1 or 2 hits in, but boom, just wipes the floor with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, okay, let's see where this goes. So, you know, next round, boom, same thing happens, just destroys me. Do it because it's this game, you know, Street Fighter. Well, just about every fighting game, it's best of 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Play 3 matches.
Yep.
For some reason, this one's best of 5.
That's
Can you adjust that at all?
Nope.
What?
Cannot, as far as I've been able to see. And then it kills me the 3rd time, and boom, my game's over.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go into the training mode. So I go into the training mode, and they show you how to do the moves and stuff. And I've seen people describe this game as being very, very good for beginners, for amateur fighting game players.
Yeah.
And
who are the people that are saying that? People who are like hardcore into counting frames and Street Fighter. Right? It's like a game where you don't have to count frames. That's for babies.
Well, the only because the special the game does not have like Street Fighter style moves.
Sure.
So it doesn't have the complicated, quarters, as complicated as a quarter circle is. But it doesn't have this, crazy input special moves. It doesn't have huge combo strings that you need to memorize. The special moves are all kind of pulled off by like kind of pressing diagonally and tapping the button or holding the button down for a longer length of time to give you. So pulling off special moves is relatively easy, but the computer AI is set just ridiculously high.
Yeah.
And so I did the training mode for a little bit, figured out some of the special moves, went back, and I was very excited. I won 2 rounds in a row.
Nice. Congratulations.
And then you lost the next 3.
And then I lost the next 3. Because at that point, I guess the computer said, like, well, this guy's clearly good at this game, so we need to step things up and just. So I have not gotten to the second round of arcade mode.
That's pretty awful.
And I was like, okay,
it's gotta be tough in order to get you to put more quarters in.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
See, CJ, this is the thing you may have missed this. I'm not talking about an arcade game, my friend. No, I'm talking about a game that I purchased on Switch, capped it at $10.
Wow.
But
I put the quarters in the cartridge slot because I don't put any cartridges in there.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That probably helps
terrible.
out.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna quit out. I'm gonna go adjust the difficulty. There's no difficulty adjustment. This game has
hey, Phil,
very few options.
Pro tip.
Yes.
Get good.
I know. Yeah. See, that's the thing, and here's my pro tip to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Get fun.
I thought you were gonna say get fucked.
No, that would be rude. That would be rude. That would be rude. So I'm very disappointed in Pocket Rumble because the difficulty is set too high. I'm guessing that when they were developing this and testing it, clearly the developers are huge fighting game fans because I'll say this, it looks great. It plays well. The controls are really good and everything. It feels good to play. It as a Neo Geo Pocket Color homage, it is excellent. I just have a feeling that the developers are probably very, very hardcore fighting game fans.
Yeah,
and
they probably think, all of us have worked in development at some time, right?
Right,
and it's always the case that the developers are the people who are closest to the game, who play it the most, who really can't judge the difficulty at all.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because they're too good at it. And anytime they think something is too easy, it's because they've played it like hundreds of times. And
exactly.
It's not actually as easy as they may think once you get
into I have a feeling that they probably just tested it themselves,
or even if they got it in front of other fighting game fans, it may not have had the same. Yeah,
right. They probably just if they got any outside testers, it was probably other hardcore fighting game fanatics. So they calibrated it to higher level players. Did not get any casual fans in, and for some reason didn't bother to put a difficulty setting in there. Which seems
after delaying it for over a year,
which seems like a really, really weird oversight.
Yeah.
But and same thing with like the adjustment of the rounds. It's like I don't want to play 5 rounds.
Yeah,
come on. Let me get in there and get out.
It sounds like you're only playing 3 rounds anyway.
Well, that's true. And to be fair, the rounds go by relatively quick.
Yeah. See, I don't know what you're whining about.
Yeah. yeah, so I'm disappointed. I really wanted to like this game more, and yeah, it's just not working for me. So
Okay.
that's all I've been playing, though. That's it.
That's all?
That
Alrighty.
pretty much.
Well,
Yeah.
I have been playing.
Hang on, I gotta cue something up.
Uh-oh, what do we
Hold on a second. I've been playing with one of these things. Do you know what this is?
I
Looks
looked
like
away.
an Xbox controller.
Looks like an Xbox controller. It's
Uh-huh.
got little extra buttons on the back.
Is that a?
Is that one of those?
An Elite.
You didn't go
controller.
out and buy an Elite controller.
You bought
bought
an
an Elite
Elite
controller.
Xbox controller.
You are
Let me
truly
guess.
the Ethan of the Player One podcast.
Did you?
I
you
was the
bought
Ethan
this-
of the Player One podcast before Ethan.
You bought
Game
this
on
for your
there.
pirate game?
I did.
Oh,
I did.
jeez.
Good lord.
Because you know what? You can program the little paddles here in the back
Yeah.
to
If
do
you-
more stuff.
If you press those back trigger buttons, does it give you something to do in the game?
Ouch. That hurts, Phil. That hurts. No,
Does it add some variety to the gameplay if you press the
it does actually. I
R4 button or whatever they call it?
There are shortcuts to the quick chat and the emotes. So
There you
I'm
go.
Finally.
doing those.
Thank God.
Normally those are mapped to your D-pad.
And who's
Oh.
got that kind of time?
Yeah, moving your thumb from the left analog
like-
to the D-pad.
Oh God.
It's a little straining. So I
That's-
needed to have
That's valuable
that.
swashbuckling time you're
and
saving.
you can swap out
So
the parts. You can
Imagine all of the extra buckles CJ will be able to swash now.
the
Oh,
analog
I'm
sticks.
imagining.
And you can also pop out the D-pad,
I love that
Uh-huh.
CJ's is forging ahead with this.
I
Keep
know.
going.
and it's nice and clicky too. Listen to that.
CJ,
That's
you know what I feel like, Greg? I feel like I'm at a
That's
trade
good, that's
show
good.
getting a demo from
Yeah.
someone at the Microsoft booth.
Yeah, and it's also got this little.
And he's got the script and he's sticking to it no matter what the people around him are saying.
That's right. And for the triggers here, you can
Uh-huh.
flick this little lever in the back, and then
Uh-huh.
you only have to depress them like halfway.
Oh, it makes them like digital.
That's saving
Yeah,
you
makes sense.
valuable milliseconds.
It is.
Holy cow.
Yes,
That's my goodness.
valuable milliseconds.
That's great.
So
Would you name it?
I didn't.
Really?
Should I have named it?
I would have figured you had.
I didn't yet.
That's your second child.
Well, yeah, basically,
Yeah.
yeah.
Except you hold this one more.
Wow. Oh, that was good.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, anyway, they
Just off camera, a single tear rolls down Charlotte's cheek.
last week they put
Yeah.
out an update to the game that added a Banjo-Kazooie figurehead that you can buy
I
for
saw that. Yeah.
1998 gold.
Okay. Now, having not
oh,
played this
yes,
game
I
in a
get it.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's the number of people who care about Banjo Kazooie.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yikes. Now
Um,
it's the year that it came out.
But how I am.
You remember Dream for the N64?
I do.
Project Dream.
No.
Where's
No.
Project
No. Because I haven't played this game in a while. I'm not familiar with the game's economy. Is that ridiculously expensive? Is that kind of cheap?
That's not
It is
that bad.
ridiculously cheap.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. And because most of the figureheads are 70,000 gold.
And okay.
this
Okay.
is 1998.
Right.
So
Right.
very affordable.
Not quite 2000.
Not quite. Yes.
See, I'm good at math too.
I see.
Mhm.
You know all kinds of things.
I used to be a teacher.
Everybody loves a know-it-all.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been playing Sea of Thieves. You should check out if people are interested in Sea of Thieves at all, and if they listen to this podcast, of course they are. There's an interesting article by Mark Delaney. He wrote about his basically overcoming social anxiety to play online in Sea of Thieves. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't really want to play online. People online are always terrible, et cetera, et cetera. I thought this article from Mark was really interesting. I'll link to it in the show notes.
Yeah.
And people can check it out.
Yeah, very nice.
Because, I hook my microphone up to play Sea of Thieves. And I never do that even for like Overwatch or Friday the 13th. Generally,
you don't even do it when we play together.
When are we going to play together?
Yeah, exactly.
When are we? So we're going to play Sea of Thieves together.
You don't want to play with me.
Sure.
Hey, your best friend Mike's in the chat channel.
Uh-oh.
All right. See, he likes Sea of Thieves.
Sound like Greg's like, oh, or not Greg. What's the other guy's name? CJ.
Oh yeah.
CJ suddenly lost interest in playing with me because Mike's here.
You should play with Mike and me.
No, you know what?
We'll hop on a galleon, sail.
Maybe I'll just start playing with Mike when you're not around, and I'll steal. You know what? I'm going to steal Mike back and give him to Greg again.
Ah,
so there you go. We're gonna pass Mike around.
All right.
He's like the town sloop. Sloop?
The town sloop?
Town sloop. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
He's the town sloop. Everybody gets a keel haul. Something poop deck.
Anyway, this week they're updating it again with another.
Mike in the chat is really enjoying this conversation, by the way.
Yes. This week they're updating it with a new event called the Sunken Curse. So we'll get to see what that is later this week, and I'll be playing Sea of Thieves a lot because that's what I do now. My life is turned into one big game of Sea of Thieves. You
didn't mention. I'm assuming the answer is yes. Did you buy the Banjo-Kazooie figurehead?
Of course I did. Yeah. That's what I roll with.
CJ, that's got to be like 0.1% of how much money CJ has.
Yeah, that's actually true.
In terms of how much gold I have, yeah. Like 360,000 gold right now.
Wow. Look at you. Good bragging.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I've been playing. So go ahead, Greg.
Sorry, I can put my phone down now. It was ready.
I'm not going to tell you any more tales from the sea.
Your tales of woe.
Your high sea havoc.
My high seas havoc. Yeah.
That's what they should have called that.
Sunny D Havoc.
The who? What?
Sunny D. What?
I don't know.
Chuck D Head.
Chuck D Head.
CJ likes the purple stuff. He's not into.
Yeah,
Sunny
I was always a fan of the purple stuff too. I in those commercials, he could have stopped right there, and it would have been fine.
Yeah. You know who wasn't a fan of the purple stuff?
The kids in the commercial.
Jonestown. What? Well, they weren't.
So okay. I haven't been playing much new, but I did finish Mega Man 8 this week.
Oh, congratulations!
The inferior PlayStation version, of course.
Yeah, the Saturn version is
best version.
It is.
That's it. I hadn't played that game in a long time. Actually, I remember playing through it back in the day, but there's some really interesting level design in that game.
I like Mega Man 8. Actually.
Yeah, I think it probably doesn't get the love it deserves.
Yeah.
Because everyone thinks, well, Mega Man 1 through 3, and me included, like those are the greatest ones, and blah blah blah. But yeah, it was a good time. I gotta say. So yeah, I finished Mega Man 8. So I'm gonna be moving on to Mega Man and Rockman and Bass, I guess. Mega Man and Bass.
Yes.
Next, got my
for some reason
came out after Mega Man 8.
Well, yeah, but it reuses some of the bosses from Mega Man 8.
Yeah,
but it is not on any of the Legacy collections.
No, it's not.
Which is a dumb move.
Yeah, it's weird. So I bought a repro of it a couple years ago, actually, for the Super Nintendo. So
is it in English? Is it translated?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So because I have the Game Boy Advance version, but
I
always kind of wanted to play it on the Super Nintendo. So that'll be the next thing we're playing.
I have the Super Famicom card of that.
Oh, do you really? Yeah, well,
Yes,
that
I
makes
do.
sense. Of course you do.
I do.
Why wouldn't you?
I'm
Do you
pretty
have,
sure I picked it up for you, right?
Yeah. CJ picked that up for me in during one of his trips to Japan back in the EGM days.
True.
but do you have Mega Man Soccer?
Of course I do.
How do you like
Yes. It's
What about Rockboard?
I do have I have
Oh yeah, that
Uh,
board game.
Wiley and Light's Rockboard That's Paradise.
Which
The-
was a
Yep.
board game, right?
That was it's kind of a Monopoly style board game that came out for the Famicom.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it did not come out here, obviously,
No.
but
no.
Mega Man Soccer is not good.
No, it's
Can't say you're
not. I played about an hour of it the other night just to sort of test it out, and that's not good.
No, it's
Not a good time.
I mean, you know as well as anyone that I am not a big sports game guy.
Yeah,
but
even if you were, that's a pretty bad game.
No, it's not a good soccer game.
No.
I've played better soccer games.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Although love the storyline.
Oh
that,
yeah.
You know, they're watching. It looks like it's probably supposed to be the World Cup.
Right.
And Wily's robots attack, and so rather than going and taking care of things, they decide that Mega Man should just play in a tournament against those robots.
Doesn't Wily challenge them or something?
Don't know if he does or not. I don't think so.
I don't remember.
All I know is it sucked. Anyway,
It's not.
and then the other thing that so I do donor request streams on Thursday nights. Someone had requested Sunset Riders.
Oh, that's a good game.
Konami's Sunset Riders, and of course I stream for like an hour and a half, so that's way too long to play Sunset Riders because the game isn't that long. Because old arcade games. So I played the arcade version, the Genesis version, and the Super Nintendo version on Thursday night.
Are they all pretty much the same game?
No, the Genesis version is quite different.
Oh, is that right?
And not very good.
Oh, that's
yeah. So the arcade game was out in '91. I played through the arcade game, which I don't know if anyone who hopefully has played this, but yeah, Sunset Riders in the arcade, just a side-scrolling shooting game,
right.
Platforming shooting game, set in the Old West. Well, Konami's version of the Old West, and it was up to 4 players.
Yeah,
it was pretty damn good. It was I really enjoyed it. It was back sort of during peak Konami in the arcade. Like this is right around the same time as like Turtles, I think. And, so really, really enjoyed that. Enjoyed playing it that night. But yeah, then I jumped over to the Genesis version, which came out the following year. Actually came out on the Genesis before it came out on the Super Nintendo, which was kind of weird for Konami back then. Yeah, not good. I don't know who did the conversion, but it's single player only. And you can only choose from 2 characters instead of the 4. And it had elements of the arcade game, and the gameplay was kind of the same, but all in all, not a wonderful game. And I think it was cut down to like 4 levels.
Oh, really?
With like a bunch of the bosses missing. And then there was the Super Nintendo version, and it was pretty much a port of the arcade version. Only 2 players simultaneous, but looked and played much better, sounded much better. Had all the bosses, although they got rid of some of the more offensive stuff because talking about Old West, so it's a lot of Native. There's one level that's all Native Americans,
right?
With where the boss is Chief Scalpum.
Oh, of course it is.
So
of course,
yeah. So in the Super Nintendo version, they in that level the enemies are all just cowboys now, like they are through the rest of the game. The boss is still Native American, but now he's called Chief Wigwam.
Well, that's much more sensitive.
I mean,
is that?
I guess.
Is it though?
Well, it's better than Scalpum.
Yeah, but
slightly.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just kind of. It's a mostly lateral move. Maybe a little better, but I mean, come on.
Yeah. I'm not saying it was great.
Yeah.
But still a really good game.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, I really like it. So just fun to play some classic Konami stuff. So and I playing another Sierra game called Cranston Manor. As I've been playing those Sierra games on Monday nights, which is like the 4th game they made. Okay. First one without Roberta Williams, and it has to be said, the first very playable one.
Oh yeah,
not easy to get lost, not easy to die by mistake. So that was cool. But anyway, that's really it. I haven't really been playing anything else new. Playing some more F1, still playing through Lego Dimensions because I'm wringing every last cent of worth out of that game. Yeah,
nice.
that's really it. So Braden Manning in the chat is asking Mega Drive or Super Nintendo, which is better, Super Nintendo.
There you go.
Yeah,
I would think just from the 2 player simultaneous and more of the arcade stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Alrighty, you know what I think that means?
What time to go to bed?
Time for tweets.
Tweet, 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 tweet.
It's a weird place.
I'm gonna get your tweet on. Oh, come on, everybody. Everybody get around. We're gonna read some tweets.
All right. Hacker alias Sean697 asks,
Yeah.
I've heard the Ed Semrad stories.
Yeah.
But what about the guy who started it all? Who was Steve Harris? Was he a cool guy? Did he really contribute much to the mag? Or was he just cashing those checks and buying expensive sports cars?
I don't think I've ever met Steve Harris.
I know I haven't.
No?
Or if I may have met him once. By the time I showed up, by the time I got hired at EGM many, many moons ago, Steve Harris had already sold Sendai to Ziff Davis.
Yeah.
And so he was not working there anymore. He may have stopped by once. And it was just kind of like, oh, hey, Phil, this is Steve. And I was like, oh, okay, hello. That was about it. Did you ever meet him?
I did. Yeah, he hired me at EGM.
Oh, okay,
actually.
okay.
So yeah, I met him. Seemed to be nice. You know, when I got hired, he was sort of.
Well, he hired a 10-year-old, so
I was 17.
Oh, close enough.
So when I got hired at EGM, they were like full on into doing all sorts of magazines, right? They did Cinescape magazine, they did Hero Illustrated, which was a comic book magazine.
Oh yeah.
I think they did the official X-Files magazine too.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
They did a lot of like really not video game magazines at the time, and that was what
they were doing a lot of enthusiast
magazines. And Steve in particular was interested in doing those, I think, more than the gaming stuff at that time. So I didn't really have a lot of interaction with him once I was on the staff.
Right.
So, and then that was when I was hired in 1994. And then when I came back to the magazine in right around the time you were there,
right.
Steve was already gone. Ziff had bought Sendai from Steve. So, yeah. Don't really have too much to say there. Although, so, you know, like every year, I think EGM would have a redesign.
Yeah.
Yearly redesigns of the inside look and feel and whatnot. Steve would work with an art director on that, like himself. Like the refresh of the look and feel of EGM was entirely Steve Harris.
Even after he sold it to Ziff Davis?
No.
Oh, okay.
Talking pre-1996.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
So
that's about all I have to say.
No, we have nothing to say about Steve Harris.
Nothing to say about it. I think I saw him at E3
this year. I
couldn't be sure if it was the Steve Harris.
Well, I mean, he's still involved in the current iteration of EGM, isn't he?
Yeah, he bought the name back from Ziff and restarted the magazine. And
is that still going?
Yeah,
I think it's still going online, and they don't do a print.
Okay,
I thought they still did a print like quarterly or something like that. I thought so.
This is how often I'm in a bookstore.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I never see a magazine rack anymore. So
yeah,
weird end at EGM. My goodness,
what's that?
What a weird end for EGM. It went from like the premier video game magazine
back when that was important.
Yeah, to being something that
we don't even know if it exists.
We're not sure if it exists. Like it may or may it might still be doing it.
I mean, it still exists in
website.
Form, for sure.
Yeah, in web form, it definitely exists.
Right.
Yes.
But does it?
It does. Yeah. EGMnow.com. Yeah.
Right. But I'm talking the print. I'm talking the
print. I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Maybe. Tell you what, GamePro's not around anymore,
and that's a shame. That's a
shame.
Yeah. GamePro.
We have no. Oh, you know what? Speaking of old EGM, stuff. We were talking about Sushi X.
Yeah.
Was that last week or was it the
like
week
2
prior?
weeks ago? 2 or 3 weeks ago.
I don't remember. But I checked. Yes. David Siller created the character Sushi X.
Okay.
It was in fact. Sushi X was indeed a David Siller creation.
Gotcha.
So there you go.
Hacker alias PX Sausage says, I bought Sea of Thieves because a friend of mine wanted to play with me, and weeks later, they still haven't played with me. Should I end said friendship?
Should you end said friendship? Yes.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Sausage. Yes, you should end that friendship immediately. And Phil, I think after the show, we'll have a little talk. We'll talk.
Uh-oh.
I'm ending our friendship.
No, it's a not you, it's me scenario.
Don't worry about it, Phil.
Oh boy. Oh boy. No, I'm never getting that player one pin now.
Not until you play Sea of Thieves with me.
Oh my goodness.
When you play Sea of Thieves with me, I will send it out the very next day.
You know what?
That is my
you know what?
No, you won't.
I don't believe that for a second.
I promise on this podcast, I will not edit out this promise to you as if it never happened whatsoever. And no one in the chat can corroborate that I will send out your player one pins if you play Sea of Thieves with me.
Like, is there like a set? Huh?
For at least.
Here's the kicker.
90 minutes.
90 minutes. Who has 90 minutes to sit down and play some online game?
You have 90 minutes to sit down and record a podcast on a Sunday night. You have 90 minutes to play. Just saying.
And you have 90 minutes to step away from your family. Certainly you have 3 hours to step away from your family.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Basically, Mr. Sausage, just find better friends and add me on your Xbox.
Yeah, there you go. CJ's looking for new friends. He's got a couple slots clearing up in the old friendship list.
That's right. All right, Hacker Alias Innuendo 20X says, why attachable controller? Why are attachable? This is hard.
Come on, man.
Why attachable controllers for phones aren't popular, whereas the Switch is a success. For example, Fortnite does not support them, but the experience would be similar to other versions. I feel like Apple and the rest are wasting their platforms on simple mobile games. So I guess why aren't attachable controllers for phones popular?
Because I think that... All right, go ahead.
You put your phone in your pocket to attach a control pad to a phone and then put that in your pocket. It's not pocketable anymore. Right. So you're not going to like have a separate bag to carry your, although I know somebody.
That's where you keep your Switch.
We all know somebody who did in fact click a controller.
Back when mobile games were the future.
Yeah.
Yes. And played that way. And it's just not convenient anymore, right? I mean, the cell phone, its games are not its primary function. Whereas
a phone, Switch, it's a multi-purpose tool. And why would you slap on something that's going to make it bigger?
I do think it was interesting that both Electronic Arts and Microsoft seemed to think that would be a viable option.
Right.
In their presentations at E3 this year.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
EA actually showed someone playing FIFA in that little segment where they're talking about we want to be able to stream our games everywhere.
Oh, right.
They actually had someone sitting there with a controller with a mobile device clamped over it.
Yeah,
right. And I don't know if Microsoft showed something like that, but they hinted at something similar. So it's still apparently a thing in some circles. But you're carrying a separate piece of equipment.
And that, kind of runs into the same trouble because, yes, playing on your cell phone is extremely convenient and would be great to have remote play on there. But then you're going to have to lug a controller around.
Yeah.
The Switch, like the Joy-Cons, are such an ingenious sort of thing. It just snaps on there.
Stop
it. The Switch itself, the Switch itself is easy enough to carry around in a satchel. a man satchel.
Well, couldn't you get a man satchel for your phone with the controller attached to it?
I mean, you could.
That's what I'm saying. You're saying, yeah.
Yeah, and you're praising the Switch for what you were denouncing phones for just a second ago.
And as mentioned on by Innuendo here, Fortnite doesn't support those sorts of controllers on mobile. Right. So anyway,
just remember, when a phone does it, it's bad. When a Switch does it, it's good.
Right.
That is absolutely true. Yes.
Only two of us are being sarcastic when we say that.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Hacker alias Seth Kennard says, as a kid, I remember making a few game purchases / rentals based on cover art alone, which led to owning some serious trash. Looking at you, Sword of Sodan. Any similar experiences?
I remember buying the RPG Trazia, not necessarily because of the cover art, but because of the name Renovation. It was an RPG called Trazia for the Genesis.
Spell that?
It was a late Traysia.
Yeah,
and it was released by Renovation, which, if you were a Genesis kid, the name Renovation carried a lot of weight because they released some really good stuff. Like the Valis 3 was Renovation, and Gaiaris was Renovation.
I do not remember this game at all. I'm looking at the cover right now.
Yeah,
it's a pretty great looking cover.
Yeah, is it? I don't know. I don't like. I'm saying I actually bought it because of the name on the box, not because of the cover. Like not necessarily because of the cover art. But anyway, it was awful game.
It's just like a barbarian dude with a big shield and sword, and sword, and he's fighting a crazy looking 2-headed dragon.
Very weak RPG. Oh yeah. You know what? That is a good cover,
right?
I'm gonna stand by that. But it's a very weak JRPG, and also I don't know why I remember this. It had this weird issue where when you walked around the overworld, every few frames it would hitch, so the screen would stutter. Anyway, I think I played the first hour of it probably 7 times.
Oh jeez.
And then I just couldn't get into it. And this was back when I would play any Japanese RPG. Like
it's weird that I have zero memory of this game. And I mean, I loved Renovation games back in the day too.
Yeah, no, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
It's too bad.
I don't know about you guys, but I never really bought games based on cover art. I rented games based on cover art.
I did that more often.
That's
but
sweet. That's certainly
and then with buying games, I did a lot more of like label buying. So like if a game says Konami on it, I know I'm probably going to like it. If it says Capcom on it and it looks like it'll be fun, I know it's going to be good. Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I had it's not based on the box art, but based on the ad. I rented the original Metal Gear for NES.
Really?
Back in the day. And I don't know if you remember this ad.
The one with all the guns.
The one, there was
equipment.
Yeah, it was a full page ad. And I'm looking at it right now. It just says gear up.
Yep.
I remember it too.
Real big. And then it's just a bunch of pictures of all the weapons and items that you can collect in that game with little descriptions of what all of the stuff does. And it has a couple little screenshots down at the bottom, but the focus of the ad is clearly, here's all this equipment that you can use in the game. And just something about seeing all of these different items and weapons and having the little descriptions saying how you will use them and what they can do for you in the game was very, very enticing to me. And the next time we went out to the video store, I rented Metal Gear and ended up loving it, and actually ended up renting it like 2 or 3 times in a row just so I could finish the game. So it was a good game.
I have not owned any serious trash because of box art.
Really?
I think Trash is the closest I ever got.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything really bad that I've played based on the box art. But
see, I'm more with you, CJ, where I rented way more than I purchased.
Oh hell yeah!
So
I mean, that was the only way to do it when we were younger, right?
Yeah, we rented. I know
that's
my
why
friend
this
and I
generation plays free-to-play games and Minecraft for years because it's the same sort of thing, right? We didn't have money to buy all these games.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, Hacker Alias Froyog Soft Serve says, I'm thinking of getting back into old-fashioned RPGs like Final Fantasy 1 through 6 or the first 4 Dragon Quest games. Are there any good ones on the current generation, particularly PS4?
I don't know because I do not play a lot of Japanese RPGs anymore.
Yeah, same here. Just play Ys games. Just play action RPGs like the Ys games. There you go.
I will say, didn't they brought out Final Fantasy 9 for the PS1 classic version?
You can get all the PS1 games now.
Yeah.
9's really good, yeah.
9 is great, and the thing that's kind of cool about the PS4 version is that it's got like the mobile version. It's got cheats, so you can if something is, if you have to grind a lot or whatever, you can like basically cheat and have the next attack go for like 9999 damage if you want.
Here's a suggestion that I'm making on CJ's behalf.
Do it.
Is play Blue Dragon.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Well, do you have an Xbox? Because if you don't have an Xbox, then you can't do that.
It's backwards compatible on Xbox One, right?
It's backwards compatible on Xbox One. Yeah, it's $10 on the digital store, so it's totally worth it.
Although, you know what?
It's a weird game.
Forget
now. It actually has sort of aged not too well.
No. Forget Blue Dragon. Forget Final Fantasy. Forget Dragon Quest. Forget PS4. Do whatever you need to do if you want to play old-fashioned RPGs. Do whatever you need to do to play Lunar.
That's a good suggestion. That's a really good suggestion.
That is not a good suggestion. That is not a good call. That is an outstanding suggestion and the absolute best call.
And you probably have an easier chance of playing the PlayStation 1 remake, which is better than the original Sega CD game.
Yes. Do not play the GBA version.
Nope.
Or the PSP version.
Do not play the PSP version.
Or Vita, whatever that was.
Ideally, like was just mentioned, yes, find a way to play the PS1 versions. Get Lunar and then play through Lunar 2 Eternal Blue.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
then
those are great suggestions.
Because the Lunar games are the absolute best.
Or if you have a 3DS, you can play Bravely Default, which I really liked as a fan of old school RPGs. And part of it is that you can turn off random battles. You can turn it down all the way to 0% chance that you'll run into anybody. So if you are going back to it, you need to go back to the town to heal up and whatnot. You can just turn all the random encounters down to 0 and walk back without worrying about running into anything.
Look at our chat.
Yeah, Froyog's in the chat. Yep. One other thing that I'd call out too, because you mentioned Final Fantasies 1 through 6, I think. I highly recommend the remake of Final Fantasy 2 that I know at least was released on PSP. I'm not sure if it was released elsewhere.
Yeah.
That's a great way to play that game if you're going to go back and play those older ones. Because Final Fantasy 2, at least in my experience, was a bit of a... It wasn't a bit. It was a lot of a grind because it's got a really weird experience system. So Final Fantasy 2 doesn't use experience points in like the way you would traditionally expect them to on old school RPGs. Your character development is based entirely on what your characters do. So if you defend from a lot of attacks, then your defense goes up.
Yeah.
If you attack a lot, your attack goes up, things like that. So it can be weird. And I remember playing the old NES version, like a translation of it, but then playing the version that came out on PSP, and it felt that they smoothed it out a lot. And then further to that, if you do end up trying to play or deciding to try to play Final Fantasy 3, I think it was 3DS or just DS. Came out on the DS or the 3DS. I can't remember which.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really great version of that game. Like, wonderful version of that game. So highly recommend that as well. I know those aren't current gen consoles per se, but
yeah,
if you want to experience old school Final Fantasy games, those are the ways to experience 2 and 3. They're the
and
best.
if you have a Switch, Octopath Traveler comes out in like a week.
Yeah, right.
There's a demo that's like 3 hours long, and progress saves over to the retail version. So that's another option.
Indeed, it does.
Yes. Alrighty, let's do this one from Hacker Alias I Finally Watched, who says, "What's your earliest arcade gaming memory? Mine is the amazing Chuck E. Cheese arcades they used to have. Tempest is among the usual classics that stick out to me. Also, my Meyer grocery store had Wizard of War and Berserk."
I had a great moment this past week. So one of my earliest, probably my earliest arcade memory is we used to, when I was a kid, we used to go over to Prince Edward Island 3 or 4 times a summer because of my uncle racing. Prince Edward Island is a province that's just north of here, and you had to go by ferry. And if you got on the big ferry, it had an arcade.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and it had like a full sit-down hard driving.
Oh, jeez.
It had a 4-player Super Off-Road, and it had a 4-player Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Nice
cabinet. So 2 weeks ago, a guy I work with tweets that he's on the ferry to PEI, and hey, look what they've got, and he's playing a 4-player Ninja Turtle cabinet.
Oh, wow.
I'll bet you that's the exact same cabinet that they've had for like 20 years or 25 years.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, it's just like, because it's clearly very old, obviously, because
right,
and the screen is like all burnt in, but he's standing there playing. It's like, I'll bet you any money that's the same cabinet my brother and I spent hours on when we were kids.
That's great.
So, but yeah, that's definitely my first arcade memory.
Yeah, I early arcade memories. We had well, we didn't have Chuck E. Cheese growing up in the Chicago suburbs back in the 80s. We had Showbiz Pizza Place.
Yes.
Which was, I mean, it's essentially the same thing as Chuck E. Cheese, but with a better animatronic band. Let's be
all the best animatronic bands played it.
Let's be fair. The Rock-afire explosion was leaps and bounds above those hacks in whatever band Chuck E. Cheese is in. Does he even have a name for his band? Yeah.
No.
So yeah, going there for birthday parties and such, and just playing a lot of Popeye was one of my favorites there. A lot of Q*bert was another favorite. A lot of Gyrus. I had to take a second to think of Gyrus. You remember that old Konami arcade game, Gyrus?
Of course.
And an old Atari game that not a lot of people remember called Peter Pack-Rat.
I remember that game. I liked that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it was it's a relatively obscure Atari game from the early 80s. But that was one of my favorites back in the day. And then of course the local mall by my house had an Aladdin's Castle, which was your kind of stereotypical dark and dingy arcade that was the sort of ideal arcade experience back in the early 80s, kind of a seedy place.
Yeah, they were selling drugs out of the back room.
Oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, just going there.
Probably just weed, but still.
Well, yeah, of course. But yeah, just playing whatever, a lot of Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man and the like. So
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine, much like yours, was Showbiz Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Loved all those games back in the day. I remember seeing Dragon's Lair at a Showbiz, and they had the dual.
Oh yeah,
cabinet.
It was like magic the first time you saw that game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's where I first saw Dragon's Lair as well. Was at a Showbiz.
Yeah, and it was the dual monitor version, so you could watch on the upper screen.
Cool.
And just a really great experience. And then there was a local arcade or a local ice cream place where I grew up near Chicago. I lived in the Beverly neighborhood of Chicago, and they had a place called the Purple Cow, and this was an ice cream joint where we would go as kids and have birthday parties and whatnot. And they had a couple of arcade games there, including Popeye, Donkey Kong, Crystal Castles, and a Star Wars arcade machine, the sit down.
One of the best.
One. And that was awesome too. And Popeye is one of my favorite arcade games.
Yep.
As is Crystal Castles. So just enjoy that.
Yeah.
Game a lot. That was the first Easter egg. Some guy who was really good at Crystal Castles showed me like a level skip cheat in that game.
In the arcade game.
Cow. In the arcade game, yeah.
Wow, neat.
And it was awesome. And then I could get to like level 15 and then die immediately, of course.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool.
Nice.
To that point in the game. And yeah. So those are my early arcade memories. And then of course Aladdin's Castle, like the mall that had the movie theater where we saw Tron had an Aladdin's Castle. And we went to Aladdin's Castle to play games like before and after the movie.
At my mall growing up, the Aladdin's Castle was, I believe, right next door to the theater.
Oh yeah, mine
or maybe like
food court, like just across the way.
Yeah.
From the theater.
Yeah. So it was definitely a lot of going to see movies and then popping over to the arcade.
Totally.
Yeah. I a couple very distinct memories I have of the old arcade days. One was when I was very young. I was probably like 6, which
it's a long time ago.
A long time ago. That would have been like 1981.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And we were at another pizza place, another kind of local pizza joint in my hometown. And they had up in the front of the place, just like 3 or 4 arcade machines, because back then every place had arcade machines.
Oh yeah.
Every place. 7-Eleven would have a couple of machines. Grocery stores would have a couple machines.
Yep.
But yeah, just about every business would have at least one arcade game in it, just because they were making so much money at the time.
Yeah.
But this particular pizza place, they had a Space Invaders machine. The old like black and white Space Invaders machine. And traumatic experience shaped me, made me the person I am today. I remember getting a quarter from my parents to go play the arcade machine, and I go up to the front and I'm playing Space Invaders, and I'm 6, so I'm not very good at it, but I'm playing, I'm having fun. And there was an older kid. I don't know how older, because when you're 6, you are a terrible judge of age.
True.
This older kid might have been 9. He might have been 29. I have no idea, but he was an older kid. And I remember he was watching me play, and he was getting very pissed off that there was this kid playing Space Invaders not as well as he would have been playing Space Invaders.
I think I've heard of that guy on the internet.
Oh yeah? Is he still around?
Is
he still around? I hear he really hates The Last Jedi these days. That's his new thing. That's his new thing. But he pushed me out of the way. I remember him. He was yelling at me. He was telling me that, he was like barking orders at me for how to play. And he finally got sick of me playing and just kind of shoved me out of the way and stole my game from me. And of course, I was heartbroken, and I went crying back to my parents. And my mom,
that boy is now dead.
My mother wears a coat made of his skin these days. She still has the coat. It's a little worn. She's had to get the little leather patches on the sleeves. No, but my mom came up and chewed out the kid and kicked him off the machine and gave me another quarter so I could play my Space Invaders game and suck at it.
Then did she stand guard after that?
I don't think she did. But yeah, so that was my traumatic arcade story from back in the day.
All right.
And then yeah, when my mom left and I'm playing again, and I remember glaring, I stared the kid right in the eyes and I said, "You fuck with me again." Again.
Just another day in Chicago.
What you fucking get, you piece of shit. I will fucking get my mom to murder.
Man, okay. We're working blue tonight.
I was you know, I was a timid little 6-year-old until you crossed me, and then I got angry.
Ran like a sailor.
And I got angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway. What else do we have? Or is that it?
I think that's where we should end it.
Is that our end?
Such a good end.
Clearly we're done.
Now you know who's done was that little piece of shit.
All right.
Yeah. Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something that you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff that Greg wrote like years ago, but still kind of relevant. You'll find Generation.
I can't tell if this is supposed to be passive aggressive.
I think it is.
Out every week.
I mean, I appreciate it, but at the same time, you become a bit of a dick about it.
Yeah.
So
what are you talking about?
It's like,
that's cool.
I mean, the dude has his own web series that he's producing these days. The dude is constantly streaming online for charity. For
Very
charity. And you're getting all pissy at him because he's not writing a bunch of free content for the site. Cut him some slack, Jack.
Get cracking there, Greg.
Didn't even make a dent.
All right, you'll find Generation 16 episodes there as well.
Yeah, and episode 115 was uploaded today.
Oh, nice.
So it's complete.
Nice.
$3 plus patrons should have access to it. Well, if you're watching this on YouTube tomorrow, and if you're listening to this on the Apple iTunes store, you should already have access. And otherwise, everyone else will have access next Monday.
Cool.
16.
On our website as well, you'll find show notes for each episode, links to things that we talked about. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's where I'm going to leave that.
Yeah, why not?
You have a link to our Discord server.
What do you got there? The Discord? Yeah.
If you like that Discord thing, you like that?
Yeah.
You like talking about video games stuff on Discord? Yeah, we got that.
Sure.
And on our website, we also have one of them message boards because all the kids are talking about that. And you can discuss this episode there with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by going to Apple's podcast app. You can also head over to the Apple App Store and invest $1.99
cheap
to pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application, which gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails, the Twitters, the what have you. You also have all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone telephone users, the Player One Podcast iPhone application is available for your listening device as well with that name $1.99.
Also cheap.
You can find that right over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace. We're also on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch archives of our show or watch us live most weeks on the youtubes.com/P1 Podcast. And if you've liked what you've heard, and how could you can head over to patreon.com/P1 Podcast and donate to our show. You can throw a few shekels our way, and it will keep CJ. It'll keep. You know what? Forget CJ. It'll keep me playing Space Invaders when some bully comes along and steals my quarter.
Aw, poor little
think
Phil.
about that. Think about that. Okay.
Yep.
You big brutes. Jeez. You know how scarred I am mentally these days
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah.
I can't go
Sounds pretty
into
bad.
a
You
local
can't even-
pizza
nope.
parlor
Nope.
without bursting into tears. You know?
Yep.
Hey, and if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to generation-16.com where you'll find the Patreon link to help support Greg Stewart's outstanding, and it really is quite good, web series about North America's favorite second banana, the Sega Genesis.
Thanks, Phil and CJ.
Yeah.
The episode that's uploaded today actually talks a little bit about Two Live Crew, so I figure it might be one you'll actually watch.
Wow.
That's
You
right
actually
in
call
my
your mom and see
wheelhouse.
if she wants to watch it.
Yeah.
Yes, he does that with every episode.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris's mom, you want to watch some Gen 16 with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to make CJ watch it too?
There you go. Hey,
Yeah.
and do you like podcasts?
I've listened to a few.
You like podcasts like ours?
Yeah.
You like podcasts that are better than ours?
Yeah.
Yeah. You like
There's so many to choose from.
you like Las Vegas? You like gambling?
I do.
Particularly.
I do.
You like
Not
comedy? Do
gambling.
you like the ha-has?
Yeah.
We're going to be at Scoop Fest this year. Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social, the funniest podcast on the internets and beyond, is hosting their Scoop Fest again this year. We were there last year, had a blast and a half. And they've invited us back this year in October 11th through the 14th. 11th is a special VIP night where we're all going to be going to the Tournament of Kings at the Excalibur. And then the actual Scoop Fest takes place on the 12th through 14th. There's going to be live podcasts, including us. There's going to be improv, comedy, awesome people, fun, frivolity, other stuff that starts with F. You can fill in those blanks yourself. Know what I mean? Yeah. But no, you should totally come on out.
All that stuff takes place outside the Vegas city limits, Phil.
Well, it just depends on how careful you are.
It's just how the laws are written.
Well, you know what? I meant feeding yourself White Castles.
Yeah, so did I.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should all totally come to Scoop Fest. It's going to be so much fun. We are so looking forward to it. Go to heyscoops.com/ScoopFestVegas where you can get more information. You can also pick up the early bird tickets right now, and you can book your hotel at the beautiful Orleans Hotel and Casino in Vegas, and you get a nice discount if you use the coupon code CJ. A8ICC10. That's A8ICC10.
There was some confusion over
Because
that.
some people did not understand the lyrics to that song.
That's
So
right. Yeah.
use that code, get a discount, come to Vegas, hang out with us, watch some comedy. Is going to be so much fun.
It's true.
It really is. I cannot wait for this. What else? CJ,
Yeah. Huh?
thank you.
Oh, thank you, Phil.
Thank you. Gregory,
Yo.
thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
And hey, Patreon supporters of the $5 or higher tier, stick around for the after show. We have a lot of fun on that Patreon only after show.
It's gonna be good.
So
gonna be real good.
you know, pants optional at the after show.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see everybody else next week. Toodaloo.
Bye.